Uncle Tim's. It's all good.
Alright, well, I got this boom all painted, looking good, nice and shiny. I'll show you what paint I'm using for this. This Bear Premium Orion Gray Gloss. Pretty good paint. The only thing I've noticed is that when it gets down towards the end of the can, the pigment kind of changes, and so I've got some spots where the color isn't exactly the same. It's most of this that you're seeing here is caused by the sunlight coming through the trees, but anyhow, it's pretty good paint. Good enough, nice shiny paint. I'm happy with it. Now I need to do a little bit more weld. I need to weld a plate on the back of that over there. I need to weld a plate on the back here. It's going to act as a brace, and it's also going to be where I'm going to hang the hydraulic pump. So I need to do that before I finish painting this. So I'll go ahead and get that all taken care of. I'll show you that, and then I can finish painting this and start putting this booger together. Alright, well, it's hooked up, put together, hooked up, and it's supporting itself. Nothing's holding that boom up except for this hydraulic mount. And it didn't flip the trailer over. So that's good news. So, it looks like a crane. I get the hydraulic pump hooked up and see if this bugger will lift up. Well, I need to get the wheels put back on it, move it away from the house a little bit in case it does decide it wants to tip backwards. But so far, so good. Well, it works. Doesn't lift quite as high as I was hoping it would, but I can fix that if I get a different hydraulic cylinder, get one that has a little bit longer stroke to it. This one's only an 18-inch, so if I go at least another 6 inches, probably get me quite a bit more height. It's getting up to 12 feet, and I was hoping for 14 feet. So I miscalculated something somewhere along the way, but it still works. It gets up 12 feet there to the right at the pulley there. So that's not too bad. And one thing I discovered that didn't say in the instructions is that this hydraulic motor needs to be mounted flat like this. If it's mounted vertical, it just spews out the hydraulic fluid out the cap there every time I lower it back down. So I'm going to have to modify that, make another plate for it so that it can mount flat like that right there. And when it's like that, it works really good. It lifts this up no problem. So the next thing I need to do is hook this up to the truck. Go ahead and hitch it up to the truck and then lift it up, raise up the boom, and then see what kind of weight I can put on it before it starts getting tippy. Since it doesn't lift up quite as high as I was hoping, the boom is, well, I'll raise it back up here and see that the boom is still extended out farther behind the trailer than I was hoping for also. Go ahead and lift it up. So that's max extension right there. That's the full 18 inches of stroke on that. And see, here's the end of the trailer, and the end of the boom is out here probably 6 feet. Boom, 6 feet beyond the end of that trailer. So I'm not sure that that's gonna work if I start putting a bunch of weight on that, if the trailer's gonna tip. So I might have to extend these outriggers, or like I said, get a longer hydraulic cylinder, which I can do. I'm not really excited about that because those things aren't cheap, but that's the only thing I could do. And to make that work, what I would have to do is, so when this boom comes down, it's just below level. I'll lower it down so you can see what I'm talking about. So there's all the way down, and it's not, so it tilts down slightly towards the tip of the boom there. So it's not exactly level. So if I was to get a longer hydraulic cylinder, all that would mean is that instead of coming down to level like this, the boom would be tipped up a little bit to start with. It would have a bit of an upward angle to it, and then because that would be a longer cylinder in there, so that would cause it to have to lift the boom up a little bit higher to get that hooked together, and then it would be able to lift that at a higher angle. So I guess I need to take some better measurements here on all my pivot points and everything and recalculate what angle I'm getting out of that and what height. Anyhow, it works, and I'm excited. I'm hot and sweaty. I'm ready for a break, but it's kind of exciting that it actually works and the trailer doesn't tip itself over. It's just slightly tail heavy when I have it down on its wheels. It's not terribly tail heavy, but just slightly, so when I add a toolbox up front there and the battery and a few more accessories and maybe just a little bit of weight up towards the front there, then it definitely won't be tail heavy. You know, that's when it's fully down like this and it's boom fully extended out. So that's sticking almost 11 feet of boom sticking out past the axle when it's sitting like this, fully down. But so with a little bit more weight out front, then it should ride good. And then actually even having this sitting flat instead of vertical moves the weight even more towards the nose of the trailer. So that'll work. Anyhow, it works.